What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode review for ReZero Season 3. This is episode 16, and with me, as always, I have Blue Spade.
Yeah, this is the finale of season 3, which is honestly, a little bit disappointing that it's already over this soon, considering the fact that the first two seasons were much longer than this one.
Yeah, but of course, we already got the announcement that there is going to be a Season 4.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah.
I
And I
yeah,
mean,
honestly, I thought this episode would be a little bit longer, considering that the first episode was like 90 minutes long.
yeah. Well, I was surprised we didn't get, like, I was seeing images, or like, well, I guess they had, like, a teaser or something for Season 4 they released online. I was surprised that wasn't at the end of the episode.
Yeah, it was a weird decision for them to do that. I mean, it would have fit, but unless if there was like a certain reason why they did that, unless there is like like some that's footage for later on in season 4. Probably might be the reason. So I mean, we won't
Mhm.
find out until like much later. Um, but yeah, the episode itself it's 20 minutes long. And of course it pretty much it focuses on the ending of the gluttony fight. Um, so of course we already know that Beatrice finally woke up from her coma, which we'll get to in a minute how she did. But she attacks the lie gluttony with magic crystals, and then I think uh, of course the fight still goes on, and like gluttony like consumes the memories and names of like at least several more people after that, and of course Felt returns with some kind of special looking staff, which ends up putting Lie out of commission for good. I mean, I don't think he's dead though after what happens by the end of this fight.
No. Did they explain where she got that staff from, or who gave it to her?
Um, I think it's something that Beatrice told her about, but she just
Yeah.
brings it out of nowhere without any explanation as to how she got it.
Yeah, so I mean, it ends up lasting a hole through like everything, and then it seems at least to have taken Lie out of commission for the moment.
I don't I don't know how he's not.
I
I mean,
imagined he
I
would.
don't.
I thought he would have had a giant hole blasted through him, but somehow
Yeah,
he's still in one piece. I don't know how, but then there's this other character that shows up, and I was a little bit confused about this. I guess this was Roy, taking other forms, because he takes this. There's this character we haven't seen before, and I guess this is supposed to be Roy because he ends up transforming into other people.
yeah,
Which
and
I
then
thought that was only, I guess it's not an ability that's just specific to Capella. I guess some of the other archbishops can do this. I guess Gluttony can do this too. Um, but I guess
yeah.
maybe that makes sense considering he consumes people's memories. So maybe the people's memories he's consumed, he also somehow consumes their physical forms. I guess I don't know. They don't explain it. He
But I think, but of course, it turns out that this true form of this version of gluttony is a little girl, and considering
I guess
it's
so. I
possible.
don't know if that is his true form. I mean,
Yeah,
uh,
but of course, this version of gluttony is able to get away, and of course, this leaves like Otto's legs are pretty much like it's just like the front part of both of his legs are just gone, leaving just nothing but bone exposed, which
yeah.
which pretty much leaves him like like in a state where he can't walk at like, I would assume at this moment, I guess, but it's gonna be miraculous if like how he's gonna heal through all that damage. I mean, Subaru like had it worse, but well with I mean, Subaru is a special case considering the fact that he has dragon's blood now. But for Otto, it's a different story.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. So after this, what happens? Uh, well, we see basically some of the other characters like Wilhelm walking off with the robes of his wife, his late wife, um,
Yeah,
and they. Well, actually, no. Before this, we find out that like Subaru meets up with Anastasia again, and then they reconvene at I think back at their hideout, where we find out that they had actually captured one of these Sin Archbishops, which was Wrath, and
Yeah,
they try to interrogate her, but she of course, like usual, she just kind of rambles on a bunch of nonsense, and the only significant thing she ends up saying is that, you know, Betelgeuse and Subaru are kind of one and the same in a way, because since Betelgeuse is somewhat like part of Subaru, and because when she was saying like she was saying like the one I love is you, and she was referring to Subaru, but she's also at the same time, I guess, referring to Betelgeuse, because technically like Betelgeuse is inside Subaru. So but they basically after this decide whether or not they should what they should do with Sirius, and Subaru says that it would be better to leave her alive, so that they could, I guess, potentially get some information out of her, instead of like just killing her.
Yeah, and so they assigned Reinhard to escort her back to the royal capital, in order to, I guess, interrogate her even further. I mean, we'll see where where that goes. But then, like, there's also the issue of what they're going to do with all of Capella's victims, who she ends up transforming against their will. I think, well, one of them suggested that they kill them all. Mercy killed them all, but
I think Priscilla suggested that.
Yeah, Priscilla suggested that, but Amelia proposes using her ice magic to put them all into a cryo sleep until they can find a cure for their condition.
And then of course there's also a scene with Kiritaka like thanking Subaru for what he did.
Yeah, and then and of course they spend the next day rebuilding the city and tracking down whatever remaining survivors. And Subaru at the end of the episode tracks down Julius, but it leaves him stunned when he realizes that, I guess, Julius's memories, or everyone's memories of Julius and his name, are completely wiped off after that battle with the Roy Gluttony.
Well, I think as we saw like earlier in the episode, I guess anybody that I guess if Gluttony literally so much just touches you, then I guess that, you know, your memories can also be erased, or the memories of other people have of you can be erased. I thought like I was thinking maybe he had to eat you, but I guess he only has to just touch you, and then that's enough for people to just completely forget your existence. So of course Subaru is the only one who remembers Julius, like like he's the only one who remembers Rem, and now it's similar to like how season 1 ended, where if Subaru finds out that everybody's forgotten about Rem, now Subaru finds out everyone's forgotten Julius.
I don't know. It just seems like an odd place to just end off the season that way. It's just, I don't know. It's just like the episode just ends abruptly at that moment, and then season 3 is done. And I mean, we do have an announcement for season 4, but we don't know when that's going to come out. And it literally took like how many years for us to wait for the season? Like almost 3 years?
Yeah, like 3, because season 2 was like during the pandemic. So about that.
So it's gonna be interesting to find out when we're gonna get any information on season 4, which is whenever that's gonna be coming out.
I mean, I will say at least we already have like a promotional image and a teaser for season 4. I mean, I was kind of surprised at how. I mean, I guess I shouldn't have been surprised that it came out so quickly, but usually we would have to wait like a long time before we even got any sort of promotional images or teasers for the next season. But I guess it shows that they were already like planning ahead, that there was going to be a season 4. But there was also a lot of rumors before season 3 even came out that season 3 was going to be a longer season, and that it was going to cover arcs 5 and 6. It could be that, like, I don't know, my theory maybe is that season 4 was already, or like what was going to be season 4 maybe was in production like at the same time that they were working on season 3. I don't know, like that's the only thing I can figure, considering how quickly like right after season 3 was over they announced that season 4 was coming out.
I mean, at least I'm hoping it's not gonna take another 4 fucking years for us to wait another
Yeah.
season, 'cause
I
that's
feel
how
like they
long.
were already like I said, I feel like they were already working on it. Like it just seems like they were already, it was already in production. Um,
Yeah.
so I don't know, maybe we'll get it like a lot quicker than the previous seasons. Um, but yeah, as for this season though, I mean, I thought it was pretty good. Like, I mean, unfortunately, it's the shortest ReZero season, but they definitely put a lot of like effort into the animation budget and like everything else. I mean, it's probably the best looking season of ReZero in terms of just like the animation. And
Yeah.
I like the. I mean, I guess there was a lot of people that didn't care for season two's like kind of I guess somewhat of a shift in art style. I think it was it was kind of subtle because I didn't really notice it that much, but season three kind of goes back to how it looked in season one. But it does look a little bit different. There are some characters that do look a little bit different. I mean, I think the obvious the obvious example being Amelia, but I mean, for the most part, like it remains fairly consistent. So, um, but yeah, overall, like I thought it was a decent season. There was some pretty interesting revelations with the plot, but then it, of course, like as usual, like there's just so many more questions than answers. Um, and it feels like it went by like really quick, I mean, especially considering it's only like 16 episodes, and I mean it just went by so fast. Um, that's my only criticism is that it's just so short, and it really leaves you wanting more. And it's just like you said, it is a little bit of a weird place to end it with the cliffhanger. They had like I do like how it's somewhat of I guess a callback to how season one ended. But it is a weird place to end things off, and especially considering we don't know how long we're going to be waiting in between like this season and the next one.
Yeah. I mean, I at least I hope that it won't take us like 4 years for us to wait for another season, because
Yeah,
that's an agonizing way, to be honest. And like, it's the same thing like when we had to wait for season 1 to 2, and then now we had to deal with the same thing with 2 and 3, but only this time the season was is significantly shorter than the first 2 seasons. So I have to
I mean,
wonder
I guess
is
you could say
how that
it kind of makes up for that with like episode one being so as long as it is. Like,
it kind of did. But still, it's I mean, I would have to wonder how their production is going to move forward with like the upcoming season, whether if it's going to have like the same number of episodes, or are they going to have like, or is it going to have like maybe an uneven number of episodes to fit the story that they're going to tell?
yeah, I mean that's a good question. I'm not exactly sure how long arc six is going to be.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I guess it depends on how long that arc is. Hopefully we could just get another full season though. I mean, regardless of how long the arc is. I mean, I'd really like to just have like a 20 some episode season. Um, but yeah, I guess that's my only real criticism about this season is just how short it was. But I mean, I do feel like they try to make up for it in certain ways, like with episode one just being like really long, and then
Yeah.
some episodes being a little bit longer than others. But yeah, it's still just it just went by way too fast. I mean, but yeah, it was a good season overall, though. I mean, as with the other seasons of ReZero, I don't think there's really been any bad episodes or bad seasons of ReZero. So, I mean, this one is. I mean, it's hard to say which one is the best one. I'd probably still say maybe season one, but season three, I guess, would probably be, I don't know. Season two was good in its own way too, so it's hard to say.
Yeah.
Uh, but
I
yeah,
I I
yeah,
I still give season 3 like I would give it maybe about an 8 out of 10.
yeah.
I mean, it's still good in its own right, and the fight scenes were pretty enjoyable. It's just my only negative is just like how short of a season it was, and I do feel like that they could have had a little more content in there. Whether or not if it was in the light novel or not. Um, I would have really loved to seen like more interaction with Garfield and his younger siblings, and of course his mother, which he finally found after all these years. I mean,
Yeah.
they never got back to that plot point, which I really wish they could have. And I also really wish they could have like expanded a little bit more what was going on with Wilhelm in the aftermath of what happened with Teresia and so on and so forth. I mean, we do get Heinkel at the end of the episode, but he's just drowning in his sorrows, like, drinking alcohol uh, by the end of the episode.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, I don't really have much else to say about the episode though. Hopefully season 4 we eventually get an announcement date for when we can expect it to come out. But yeah, I don't know if you have anything else to say about the episode.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, it was still enjoyable. As for season 4, I do like the fact that that they did put out a teaser. It's just like you said, it's weird that they didn't put that little teaser like at the end of the episode, uh, just to hype us up. It just seems like an odd decision for them to just end it at the point where they find out Julius's memory or his name has been wiped off the map.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I anticipate that. I mean, I'm not exactly. I don't know about all the plot of season 4, but I assume that it's probably gonna, like, the next arc will probably just be dealing with like the fallout of what happened in this arc, with particularly with like Gluttony erasing people's existence.
Yeah.
And I mean, obviously, like Rem as being like the central figure in that promotional art. Maybe we can finally. I don't know if that arc is going to get to it, but I definitely like to see them at least trying to restore Rem's existence. Considering like she's just been absent for so much of the plot at this point. I mean, I'm hoping that maybe is what's going to be the end goal of that particular arc, is trying to get, like, her existence restored or something. But then there's also like so many other characters that have supposedly also been consumed by Gluttony that probably have been completely forgotten. So yeah, I guess we'll see. But yeah, guys, until that all being said, until next time, we will see you all later.